I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the world's greatest race course, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where tonight the stars and cars of the ESRA INDYCAR Series will take on this 2.39-mile oval, newly released for iRacing 2022 Season 3, I think it was, maybe Season 4. I don't know. Not like it matters. We got the new course, finally. My name is Chris Graham with the National Racing Network. Pleasure to have you hanging out with us here. Michelle Graham handling the production duties for us tonight. Thank you very much, Michelle. We appreciate you. Practice just wrapping up. Qualifications getting ready to go underway. And thus far, only a couple of drivers, it looks like, getting ready to head out onto the race course. Let's take a look here and pick up let's see. I think we'll grab Ty Richter here and see if we can't get a look at where Ty is out on the race course. Looks like one of our iRacing systems decided to take a total dump on us here. So let's take there we go. Now we got to look at Ty Richter for you. And actually picking up Alec Coates here as he is working his outlap. We'll keep an eye on things and get everybody up to speed on where we're at here. We'll start seeing the first laps coming on here in just a moment. Looks like Vic Aldrich already out on the racetrack for his first lap, as is Christian Jasper, Connor Baldwin, Luis Velasquez working their first hot laps of the night. Ty Richter, Cullen Johnston, Gary Corley, and James Watson all out on the racetrack for their warm-up laps. Oh, man, a big time off there for Alec Coates. Let's pick up Christian Jasper as he's making his way around. Looks like, man, Target Chip Ganassi throwbacks there. Very nice. Lap number 1 on the board for Connor Baldwin. He goes P1, 1 minute 11.56, 1 minute 11.8 for Christian Jasper. Vic Aldrich, Luis Velasquez also on the board. Total of only about 0.8 of a second separating these drivers as they've completed lap number 1. Let's pick up Baldwin in the Texas A&M University Baldwin Agriland, number 19. He's your quick timer thus far. Man, there is some big-time heavy iron in this one, though. Matt Wagner still not out on the racetrack yet. Christopher Hill has not turned a lap yet. He is always quick here on the road courses. Connor Baldwin, top of the charts. Looks like we're going to have Christian Jasper up there in second. James Watson with a pretty darn good lap here as well. Let's pick up. There we go. We'll get you the side-by-side up on the screen here. And now that we've got everything back, we can show you the timing tower as well here. My goodness, moments of panic early on here in the production studios. Well, iRacing did iRacing things. Only quarter of a second separating Baldwin from Jasper. Watson, Aldrich, Richter, only about 0.6 of a second separating the top 5 at this point in the qualifying session. Lap number 2 about to go on the board for James Watson, and he's quicker, but does not improve. 1 minute 12.026 seconds. We'll pick up Drew White as he's out on the racetrack. Let's also grab a look here at Matt Wagner. Wag's going to be on the left-hand side of your screen. It'll be Drew White out on the right-hand side. Lap number 1 just about to get on the board for Matt Wagner. Drew White's first lap going to be a 1 minute 13.87 second lap. Take a look. We'll give you the side-by-side. Go on board with Matt Wagner here as he goes screaming down Holman Boulevard. One of the faster points of the racetrack into the big left-hand turn, and then a very quick snapping sweep left-right combination. There you see Wagner carrying the number 1 plate as the 3-time and defending series champion of the ESRA INDYCAR Series. Don't know that Wagner's going to be able to repeat this season as champion, however. Entering tonight's race, man, it's going to be close though. Joshua Tucker entering with a pretty solid points lead, but right as soon as we start about talking something else, we got something bigger to talk about here. Christopher Hill goes quick time, top of the board. 1 minute 11.03, a half second quicker than the rest of the field. Chris Hill absolutely hauling the mail in those very Exalta-looking colors. James Watson, Vic Aldrich, Drew White, the top 5 in the point standings, by the way, as we mentioned that heading into tonight. Still waiting on, let's see, Jason Hand, Jeff Destino, and TJ McMurray to get their laps in, but it looks like everybody is off the racetrack at this point. Not much going on, so we'll bring up the kind of still graphics here. This one should be a very exciting race here tonight, though, is down to 1 minute 38 seconds left in the qualifying session. 15 cars going to be on the entry list for tonight's race. Have to say a huge thank you to Gary Godso and the team from RaceVerse for picking up the broadcast for us 1 week ago. Coming up next week, we are back for the oval layout. Oh, I can't wait. 75 laps around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, always one of the biggest shows of the year, of the season, I guess I should say, for the ESRA INDYCAR Series. Going to follow it up with a visit to the Chicago Street Circuit. The guys from RaceVerse will have that broadcast coverage for you that night. I mean, it'll be right here on NRN, but it'll be the team from RaceVerse. Follow it up with Phoenix and Chicagoland before we break for the Thanksgiving holiday. Down to 30 seconds remaining in the qualifying session. Nobody is out on the racetrack, so Christopher Hill will be your pole sitter here this evening. With that, qualifications are over. Christopher Hill claiming the pole position by a half second over Connor Baldwin. An absolutely monster lap. But now it is time to go racing for 45 laps. Will be at least a two-stop race. The question becomes, and a lot of the drivers were talking about, is it going to be a case of wanting the Firestone black primary tires for 2 stints or the Firestone reds for 2 stints? It sort of sounded like the blacks may be the better strategy. However, it definitely gets a lot into who is going to be where and when you make those pit stops. Obviously, very much not likely to see a full course caution flag here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. At the road course, you're not likely to see a caution flag. Let's take a look, get the grid up here, and let's get you ready to go racing for these 45 laps here this evening. Just waiting on the last couple of cars to get out here on the grid. And starting on the pole out of California with a lap time of 1 minute 11.030. It is the 101 of Christopher Hill. Connor Baldwin in the Texas A&M Baldwin Agriland Aero Info entry going to line up alongside, outside of row number 1. Christian Jasper and Matt Wagner will occupy row number 2. That is a lot of heavy iron there on that second row. James Watson, Vic Aldrich on row number 3. Ty Richter and Alec Coates on row number 4. Row 5 is going to have Luis Velasquez and Drew White. Gary Corley, Cullen Johnston on row number 6. Row 7 is going to have Jason Hand and Jeff Destino. And all alone on row number 8 will be TJ McMurray. 13th, 14th, and 15th on the grid, electing not to take time. In fact, TJ McMurray will not be on the racetrack even to start this race here this evening. So we'll see the cars make the dive down here towards turn number 1. 90-degree right-hand corner. It is very tight from about the middle of the corner all the way through the exit of turn 2. You really kind of have to be single file by that point. Turn 3 opens up just a little bit. You'd think it's a passing opportunity, but it is very, very short distance down to turn number 4. The first of the, well, call them chicanes, S's, whichever you want to call them. This one leads out onto Holman Boulevard. What was used as the landing strip for the Red Bull Air races, which is absolutely epic. This was a kind of landing spot here for aircraft. Cars will head under the bridge. They're going to make another 90-degree left-hand turn before the second short set of S's that they're going to encounter. If you watch the Indy Pro 2000 broadcast, this was a place where a lot of action happened on the racetrack. If you could make the outside pass work out of the turn off of Holman Boulevard, really set you up well to run through this next set of corners. Then you start to head back out towards the oval. Where the big change is this does not utilize turn 1 of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway oval as the old layout did. Instead, you're going to make a hard right-hand turn, put you back through a little serpentine through the infield of turn 1 of the oval. Right about here is where they're going to make their entrance down onto pit lane. You'll see that swing off towards the top of your screen. But as always, race fans, the start of the Indy Pro 2000 Championship is going to be all yours. Everybody cleanly through turn number 1. Oh, good battle back here. Vic Aldrich, Matt Wagner fighting for position. Oh, man, can't count out Alec Coates in this one either. Oh, we've got one off the racetrack, and it's going to be Christian Jasper. Fantastic job of keeping that race car under control, but Jasper very, very slow, likely has a slowdown penalty. Oh, and we've got a couple off the racetrack. I think one of those may have been Drew White. Several cars getting off the racetrack early. Back at the front of the field, going to be Christopher Hill leading over Connor Baldwin. James Watson up to third. He gained a couple of spots, as did Vic Aldrich. Seeing trouble on the racetrack also for Cullen Johnston. Let's take a look at the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. See if we can see what happened to Cullen here. All by his lonesome down towards turn number 1. This may just be a case of overcooking corner entry in a big way. Yeah, he did. Able to get the car woed up and back out towards the racetrack, but definitely not what you want to be doing there. Vic Aldrich coming around James Watson for the third position. That's going to put Aldrich up to third, Watson back to fourth. Alec Coates, Ty Richter also going to be right in line there, as you saw the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum in the background. Give us a shout in the comments here. Let us know where you're watching from. Hopefully you are enjoying the show, whether you're watching on YouTube or on Twitch. Trouble for Jeff Destino. Take a look at the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Oh, just overcooks it a little bit, slides it down into the grass. No harm, no foul. Slide back here, pick up James Watson, Alec Coates, and Ty Richter. Coates starting to close in on Watson, but wonder if James might not be playing a little bit of a strategy game here. Given that the drivers are expecting a two-stop race, would think that stop would probably come at about lap 15. Means we're a little bit of a ways away yet from seeing that first round of pit stops. Bring up the side-by-side here. Show your race leader, Chris Hill. He's on the right-hand side of your screen, and he has opened up a monster gap already. 2.25 seconds and growing, and we're only 4 laps in. And I'll tell you what, a little bit surprising here, but really not much in the way of battles. The big box here that we have on the left-hand side of your screen, Watson, Coates, and Richter, that's the only drivers that are anywhere close to each other at this point of the racetrack. Taking a look at the tire strategies, Vic Aldrich started on the red alternates, Alec Coates on the alternates, as did Drew White and TJ McMurray. Wonder if we're not starting to see some of the fall off here. Oh, trouble for Matt Wagner. He's got it off into the grass a little bit. It is so easy to make that tiny little mistake here at the speedway. Other battle starting to heat up here. Let's pick this one up. This is going to be Luis Velasquez and Christian Jasper getting out nose to tail with each other. That battle happening just behind the fight you're watching on the left-hand side of your screen between Coates and Richter. Big dive up the inside by Ty Richter. Nice move there. He's going to grab the 5th position away from Alec Coates. That other battle, oh man, big lockup there from Luis Velasquez. He's going to lose a bunch of time in the process. Definitely not a spot that you want to have that lockup either. Just giving up so much time. Go back to the full screen view here on Ty Richter and Alec Coates. This is the only battle on the racetrack that's even close to each other at this point. But good Lord, is Christian Jasper catching up in a hurry. Drivers do have the push to pass at their option here. 10 activations of the button are available. Vic Aldrich has already used 3. This fight here between Richter, Jasper, and Coates, each of these drivers has only used the button once. Oh, and Jasper slides it off the racetrack. Another mistake from Christian Jasper, very uncharacteristic to see a mistake like that from Christian Jasper. So now following along with Alec Coates as he has Jasper only about a half second back. Lost a bunch of time in the process there. About halfway through stint number 1, working lap number 8, expecting to see that first round of pit stops at about lap number 45, or excuse me, about lap 15 of 45. If you really wanted to try to stretch it, I would imagine you could probably stop, I would say probably about lap 11 maybe, lap 10. You would have to run the black tires for a longer stint. But if you started the race on reds and the plan was to get off of them as quickly as possible, that's going to be your most likely strategy. Seeing Jason Hand down the pit lane. Jasper having to move up, look up the inside of Coates. Oh man, not quite close enough to attempt the pass there. Now he's going to have another look. Man, that's a gutsy place to try the pass. So easy to overcook corner exit. Nice move there, Christian Jasper. And here comes Alec Coates down pit lane. The first of our drivers tonight to make his way down the pit lane. And that now means we do not have a battle anywhere on the racetrack. Show you the race leader here, and then we'll get to look at Alec Coates. Trouble on the track for TJ McMurray. Looks like he had a little bit of an off track. Coates going to be down and away. 8.2 seconds, the time of the stop for Alec Coates. So there you go, lap number 10, lap 11. That's where we see the first stop, and it's going to be Alec Coates. Total time on pit lane, about 57 seconds. Take a look at a couple of quick replays here. Pick up TJ McMurray, see what happened to Thaddeus. Oh, well, he just kind of disappeared, didn't he? A little bit of a very small blippy off track. There you go. Locks the brakes up. Trouble on the track as well for Jeff Destino. Looks like Jeff, yeah, just straight overshooting turn number 1. TJ McMurray now going to be on the pit lane. Pick up Matt Wagner and Drew White, separated by only about a half second here or so. We'll go on board here, give you the side-by-side. Matt Wagner's, he's trying to chase down Drew White. Oh, we got a buddy checking in the comments here. Let's bring this one up. 90210. So Gotifi is going to be the back marker next year, it seems. I don't know that you can say Nicholas Latifi is going to be much of a back marker. Especially if he's in a Ganassi car. Yes, I know it doesn't look like Fuji. The boss man forgot to change the titling on everything. We'll get that swapped out as soon as the broadcast ends here for those of you watching on Twitch. Matt Wagner so close as they're going to make their way out onto the oval. He's going to have a huge toe down the front straightaway. Wonder if Drew White's not on the button, though. Pulling away just a little bit. That's also the big trade-offs that these drivers make. You can run a little bit more downforce to be good through the twisty bits in the infield. But there are several places. This racetrack is incredibly fast. Definitely don't have the, you don't want to give up the outright pace here down the Holman straight. Taking a look, and Drew White, yeah, he may have been on the button. Cullen Johnston, you're my hero. 14 laps in, and it probably only took him 3 or 4 to get there, but he has used all of his push to pass. Wagner, big dive up the inside. Great look from the onboard. Little bit of a right front lockup. He's going to clear Drew White. No way for White to push back. Fantastic run there for Matt Wagner. Moving a little bit further up the field here. Ty Richter, Christian Jasper. Look like they are resuming their hostilities. Let's do the same thing. We'll pull back up the side by side here on board with Christian Jasper. Now working lap number 15. I think this is when we may start to see some cars making their way down pit lane. Surf Gonzo checking in. What's going on, buddy? Hopefully you are having a fantastic night. Jasper down to the inside of Richter. Tries to shove Ty just a little bit wide. Oh, chops him right back off the nose. Fantastic looks here Oh, he's right there again. They almost make contact. Jasper may have more straight line speed here. And he is able to get that pass completed. I'll tell you what, they're getting a little bit tight here. Oh, well, we did have a little bit of a battle tightening up between Vic Aldrich and Connor Baldwin. Well, here we go. James Watson, Vic Aldrich on pit lane. Aldrich and Watson stopping at the conclusion of lap number 15. No real surprise here. Both, well, Aldrich was on the reds. Watson was on the blacks. We'll see what they elect to take this time. I don't think anybody's chasing down Chris Hill, quite frankly. Hill out to a 10-second lead over Connor Baldwin. Aldrich going to be down and away, 8.23 seconds. Watson down and away, 8.02. They will exit pit lane exactly as they came in. And they swapped tire sets here. So Vic Aldrich going to get out onto the Firestone primaries with the black sidewall. James Watson on the Firestone reds. Now Connor Baldwin making his way down pit lane. Luis Velasquez looks like he's catching in on Ty Richter here as well. We'll pick up that battle for you down the front straightaway as we cover the pit stops here. So Baldwin hits his assigned pit box. Connor Baldwin down and away, 8.2 seconds. The other battle we had up on the screen here starting to soften out just a little bit. So race leader Christopher Hill on pit lane. Coming in at the conclusion of lap number 17 for the race leader, and he will get over the yard of bricks as well before Christian Jasper comes past. So it will be 17 laps completed for the race leader when he comes onto pit lane. Trouble for Cullen Johnston. Get your replay here as the race leader hits pit lane. See what happened to Cullen. Man, again, just overshooting turn number 1. Race leaders down and away. Christian Jasper, Ty Richter, Luis Velasquez, Matt Wagner, Drew White, all on pit lane. Christopher Hill, 9.13 seconds, the time of the stop. About a full second longer. Wonder if he didn't miss the pit box just a little bit here, but Christian Jasper back on the racetrack. Luis Velasquez coming back out now, as is Matt Wagner. Richter, 8.58 seconds in the pits, 8.4 seconds for Christian Jasper. 8.75 for Matt Wagner, 8.45 for Drew White, 8.48 for Gary Corley. Still going to be Christopher Hill with the race lead. Seeing our old buddy Forrest Baldwin checking in here. Good evening, sir. I hope you are doing well this evening. Go Connie, gig 'em and eat more beef. I can get behind that. Ask and ye shall receive. Let's take a look here. Christopher Hill will give you through the field. Christopher Hill has led all 18 laps after qualifying on the pole. He's been the dominant guy of the night. He was a half second back in qualifying, running about a half second a lap slower, quite frankly. At least on the average anyway, is Connor Baldwin. A good look at that Texas A&M Aero Info, number 19. Baldwin started second, runs second. He's already made the pit stop, and each of the top 3 drivers have made the swap over to the opposite set of tires from where they started, all starting the race on the primaries, now running the alternates. James Watson runs in the 3rd position in the Team Watson Racing Setups National Racing Network, number 39. Watson's up 2 from where he started the race, taking advantage of the off-track early on by Christian Jasper to gain a position. Currently running about 8.5 seconds or so back behind Connor Baldwin. Surf Gonzo's going nuts. Making his way down the front straightaway is the 98 of Victor Aldrich. Vic having a very nice run to this point. He's up 2 as well. Fantastic paint job. Like the spec map work on the side pod there as well. It's the little details, the full metallic reflection on the side of that one. A good looking race car. Another one's coming up just behind him. That's Christian Jasper. The Destino Motorsports entry. But it's a Target Chip Ganassi throwback. Again, second time now we've seen that in the series here for Christian Jasper. He ran the Mercedes F1 scheme that he fully integrated the personal sponsors on. Doing it again here with the lightning bolts out of the mid-90s. And Jasper having a look here on Vic Aldrich. Put Jasper up to the 4th position. As we are now down to 25 laps to go here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Cullen Johnston having an issue, and he had to take the tow back into pit lane. Jason Hand also looks like he is out of this race. Talked about the top 5 now. Let's move back to 6th position here. We'll pick up Ty Richter. Ty fighting in and amongst some lap traffic. Richter up 1 position from the start of the race. Quiet kind of night for everybody here at Indianapolis. Got to say kind of the same thing here about Alec Coates in the number 10, one of the mediocre motorsports entries. Not having a terrible night, not having a great night. Very kind of top 10, back half of the top 10 type of night for Alec Coates. Luis Velasquez is up 5 positions in car number 54. That looks like another, good looking Stanley hand tools, I guess we'll say. That's a good looking paint job there. I like that one. Nice livery there for Luis Velasquez. The bright green machine, a Matt Wagner, green and checkered flags all over that number 1 machine. Area 51, the presenting sponsor of some of the oval races here for the ESRA IndyCar Series. You can also find Area 51, I believe, over on Raceverse. So check them out. You can find the Area 51 IndyCar League here on the iRacing platform. Wagner, the big loser of the night. He is down 5 from where they started the race. running back in the 10th position. Kind of Jeff Gordon-esque colors here. Like it's a Team Watson Racing deal. That's the pink, yellow, and green that you see. But I like the baby blue that's tossed in with it. It's kind of a Jeff Gordon-themed Rainbow Warrior car. With Sunset Arctic Gaming and Team Watson Racing setups on the side of it. For 10th place, running Drew White. The closest battle on the racetrack right now, 2.3 seconds between Ty Richter and Alec Coates. There's nothing to talk about, so chat me up here in the comments. Let's make the rest of the night interesting here. We'll go back to 90210's comment about Nicholas Latifi. If Latifi's going to go from a Williams F1 car to a Chip Ganassi Racing Indy car, he's going from back-of-the-grid junk in F1 to the team that won the Indianapolis 500 and was consistently fast for the last, I don't know, 30 years or so. There's no way Nicholas Latifi is running at the back of the field in IndyCar next season. Looking at the numbers here, we're about 10 laps or so away. Oh, big lockup. Hold on to it. Nice save, Drew White. In fact, he's going to have race leader Christopher Hill closing in on him here. And he will very politely move himself out of the way for the race leader to come through. Now down to 9 cars remaining on the lead lap. Still about, I'm going to say about 30 seconds or so ahead up the road is Matt Wagner in the 9th position. As we mentioned, it's Oval Week next week for the ESRA INDYCAR Series. 75 laps around the world's greatest race course. We're coming back here. We would love to see a full field. If you want to run in the ESRA INDYCAR Series, drop us a message on YouTube or on Twitch. We'll get you the Discord links and everything else to get you set up here. The ESRA Oval races are always fun. They run overtime. They run the lucky dog. It keeps a lot of cars involved late in the race on the ovals. Absolute blast when these guys get out here, especially in Indianapolis. And since, let me see. Let me take a look at the schedule here. See if there's anywhere else. Ooh, that one could be fun too. All right, we are going to put up 3 prizes for the rest of the season here. Starting next week at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Oval. Let's do $10 to the best appearing throwback car. We're going to do 3 throwback paint scheme awards. Best throwback to an Indianapolis 500 qualified car. That's what we're going to call it. Best throwback to a car that has qualified for the Indianapolis 500. And don't make it the first thing you find on Trading Paints. That's the first thing I'm going to look for. The second throwback race we're going to do will be December 1st at Lime Rock Park. Best throwback ever. Got to be an IndyCar. But give me a throwback livery for Lime Rock here. And then when we go to Sebring, we're going to curse everything. December 22nd, a couple of days before Christmas. I guess 3 days technically. Best throwback F1 livery on an Indy car. So 3 throwback paint scheme challenges coming up. Best qualified car for an Indy 500 next week for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Lime Rock Park, just the best looking Indy car, period. And then Sebring, best throwback F1 car. You got to be creative, though. There are a million Marlboro McLaren liveries on trading paints. That's not fun. That's not interesting. However, if you pull out like a Leighton House scheme from the early 90s, now we're talking. Maybe an old Tyrrell scheme like Sir Jackie Stewart won with. You pair that up with the open face helmets that they've got. Now you're talking. You got to be creative if you want to win the money. And we reserve the right to say y'all failed too. $18 laps remaining. There is absolutely nothing going on the racetrack. In fact, the only thing we really got going on is Alec Coates coming down pit lane. Second time we're going to see the number 10 machine make its way down pit lane. So this is going to open up the window for that second set of stops with about 18 laps to go. Coates did 9 laps on the Firestone Reds. Looks like he's going to do 18 and 18 on the Blacks. Alec Coates down and away. How about it? We got battles heating up on the racetrack. James Watson battling with Christian Jasper. While we were watching Alec Coates on pit lane, this was happening out on the racetrack. Oh, Watson got off the racetrack at turn number 1. That allows Christian Jasper to slide past. Oh, yeah. See, now, some of these, Surf Gonzo checking in here. Let's get this one up on the screen. So many to choose from. Greg Moore's Players Scheme, TK's 7-Eleven. I almost feel like the Players Scheme is maybe a little bit played out, if you will. If you'll pardon the pun. Tony Kanaan, the 7-Eleven scheme, was a good one. I don't know that we would call it a great paint scheme, but it was a good paint scheme. I'm thinking something like Jim Hurtubis's Miller High Life entry that he, well, didn't get in the show and quite frankly caused a whole ruckus with in, gosh, I want to say 79, maybe 81. There's a bunch of Bobby Unser Eagles on trading paints already. Oh, there we go. Mario Andretti's 1982 red, white, and blue STP car. If you can make one of those old Penske's look great on a modern Indy car, chef's kiss to that one, baby. Connor Baldwin Second place going to be down on pit lane. The Aero Info Texas A&M entry. Going to head down towards his box with 15 laps to go. Race leader Christopher Hill can do just about whatever he wants at this point. There really is no danger anywhere. Connor Baldwin is on pit lane. Let's pick up James Watson as he makes his way down. Also have Vic Aldridge, TJ McMurray, and Drew White on pit lane. Watson hits his box car, gets up quickly onto the jack. He'll be down and away in just a second. Baldwin down and away off of pit lane, 8.07 seconds. Blistering stop for the Team Watson Racing Team, 7.92. 8.72 for TJ McMurray. Now the race is on. Unbelievably, race leader Christopher Hill has come around and passed both of these cars. Chris Hill going to be just up ahead of James Watson, and he's not all that far from putting Connor Baldwin a lap down either. There you see Chris Hill start kind of snaking his way around the racetrack. Ty Richter going to be on pit lane. So down to 14 laps to go. Still waiting on Christopher Hill, Christian Jasper, Luis Velasquez, and Matt Wagner to make their stops. Wagner going to be down this time. You can hear him banging off the rev limiter. They're at pit speed limit. 33 of Richter hits his box. Oh, no, he missed it. What a tough break for Ty Richter. He gave up a ton of time as race leader Chris Hill makes his way down pit lane for his final stop with 13 to go. Looks like Matt Wagner also on pit lane. We'll cover the stop here for your race leader. Very quick stop for Chris Hill. Down and away, 8.37 seconds. Matt Wagner was out of the box, 7.92. For the first time today, we have a new race leader. Christian Jasper takes the lead in the Target Chip Ganassi throwback. By the way, I mentioned the sponsor integrations. That's impressive, the way that Christian Jasper's done that on this Target car. That's one of those things we look for. We don't want necessarily a perfect throwback. But how do you integrate your sponsors and your teams into all of this? I'll tell you what, Christian Jasper is going to do another lap here out on the racetrack as well, as he's got a glitchy Matt Wagner right behind him. One car very slow down on the inside of the racetrack. May have been TJ McMurray. Wagner, big dive up inside of Jasper. Wagner on fresh tires. Christian Jasper trying to nurse these things. He can't go that far. And Chris Hill is closing in down to 11 and change seconds at this point. But Christopher Hill will not claim the grand slam of leading every lap, winning qualifying, winning practice, and having the fastest lap of the race. Best lap of the race does belong to Hill, by the way, at a 1 minute 12.001. About 1 second off the pace that he set in qualifications. What I wonder here with Jasper is, oh, and Wagner got off the racetrack. Is this where Christian Jasper comes down pit lane? Yes, it is. Absolutely brilliant timing for Christian Jasper to come down pit lane. Oh, man, almost swung it out into the outside wall. He heads down pit lane. The question becomes, where is he going to come out? And I think we're going to see Christian Jasper come out of the pits. Very, very likely we're going to see him come out in second, or at least very close to second, as Connor Baldwin was 35 seconds back. Luis Velasquez comes around. He claims second, but he's going to have to make another stop here. Jasper's car up on the jacks. He'll be down and away in just a moment. There he goes. 8.63 seconds, the time of the stop. Well, maybe not. It was a valiant effort, but looks like Jasper's going to come out about, by the time he exits pit lane, about 4 3/4 seconds back. Oh, well, maybe not, though. Pick up James Watson here. That gap is 3 and change seconds between James Watson and Connor Baldwin, sitting right about 5 and change seconds. So as it stands right now, your podium looks to be Christopher Hill, Connor Baldwin, and James Watson. The question is Watson going to be able to hold off Christian Jasper? Watson with 4 laps on his tires. Christian Jasper still on the outlap for the fresh rubber. Luis Velasquez coming down pit lane this time. So down to 10 laps to go. It's been the Christopher Hill show. Take a look. Let's slide back in the pack here and pick up Matt Wagner and Alec Coates. Separated by, we'll call it about 1 1/4 seconds or so. Luis Velasquez, 7.82 seconds. Great stop for Velasquez. And he is going to come out right around, well, yeah. There's Velasquez right at the very bottom of your screen coming out of the pits. He's going to be trying to get those tires warmed up while Matt Wagner is chasing big time. Very quickly could become the battle for the 7th position. As it is in the real world, teams do not have the ability to use tire warmers here on the iRacing platform, so you are truly coming out on cold Firestone tires. And as it stands right now, this is the closest fight on the racetrack. James Watson, 3.3 seconds back at Connor Baldwin. Christian Jasper, 2.4 seconds back and closing. What the heck? We haven't done one of these yet. Let's give you a chance at home to go ahead and crank it up. you go. Gave you a lap to crank it up and a lap for Christian Jasper to catch up to James Watson, down to a half second. That 67 machine is flying right now. Jasper, not a series regular. Currently sitting 9th in the point standings, but almost 100 points back at Joshua Tucker in the lead. This is really going to close things up tonight, though. Chris Hill going to pick up, well, so long as he finishes it out anyway, will pick up 50 points for the win. The big one, though, Joshua Tucker, your points leader, not in tonight's race. Oh, big bobble from Jasper. He tried it on Watson. Had to give the spot back. Pucker Factor Zulu for the pilot of the 39. Matt Wagner could have inherited the points lead, but an 8th place finish may not do it tonight. This is a big 3rd place battle, though, here for Watson. Looking to give, this is I believe, a 5-point difference in one position. Watson deciding discretion, the better part of valor there, and giving the spot up to Christian Jasper. Oh, Surf Gonzo, you're absolutely nailing it. Sorry, just thought of 2 more. Jim Clark's or Dan Gurney's 1960 Lotus. If we want to start going big-time throwback, put like a matte finish on the car. Use the spec maps to get a matte finish. Oh, man, you could really have some fun with some of the old cars. Make the letters look hand-painted. If anybody wants a paint scheme for any of those races, especially if you want to go really old on the throwbacks, let me know. I'll see what we can come up with here. A lot of these guys have some really fantastic artists. Dakota DeMeg doing them with Sunset Arctic Gaming. Really does a lot of work for some of the Team Watson guys. Zach Scott Nicky doing, I think that's how you say Zach's name, for some of the Team Watson Racing guys. There's some great painters out there. If it's worth $10 to you, we'll see if somebody wants to throw some coin at it. Down to 5 laps remaining here at Indianapolis. Christopher Hill has been the dominant force all night long. 33.4 seconds ahead of second place Connor Baldwin. That's taking these boys out to the woodshed. In fact, he's about to lap Matt Wagner. I don't know that we've ever seen Matt Wagner get lapped without damage of some sort. Now, Chris Hill is the driver coach for Matt Wagner. In fact, Chris Hill is a driver coach in the real world as well. Oh, big dive up the inside. That's fantastic. That's how you get it done right there. Matt Wagner getting schooled by the teacher there into turn number 1. Good battle here. Ty Richter, Luis Velasquez. We're finally getting some action here on the racetrack inside of 5 to go. And quite frankly, the other battle that really looks like it could heat up here. Christian Jasper is making big-time headway on Connor Baldwin. Only about a second and a half separating those two right now. We'll stick with this battle here for the moment, but Oh, yeah, things are really starting to tighten up now. Here's Baldwin and Jasper with 3 laps to go when the gap is down to 0.7 of a second. Cue the Jaws theme. On board with Christian Jasper as he's going Aggie hunt here down Holman Boulevard. Lap traffic may come into play a little bit here as well. Oh man, Baldwin really backs that corner up. It's going to give Jasper a shot here as they head back out onto the front straightaway. Oh, Baldwin way out to the wall. He had that thing wound up big time. Does Jasper try to dive into turn 1? Yes, he does. Oh, there's almost contact. James Watson is just waiting for the contact here. He's 2.8 seconds back. White flag is out, 1 lap to go for your race leader. We'll pick him up in the little box. Car that has been the dominant force all night long, Christopher Hill, has been nearly untouchable. But man, this fight is too good between Connor Baldwin and Christian Jasper. Baldwin not really doing anything to try to break the draft here. And in fact, it may take a huge lunge from Jasper. He's going to try it again down to turn 1. Oh, he overshoots the corner, almost got Baldwin. Oh, so close to contact at turn 1, and the fight's not over yet. Off the final corner, checkered flag is in the air. Chris Hill wins at Indianapolis. Now the battle for second. Can Christian Jasper catch Connor Baldwin with just a couple of quarters to go? Off the final corner, under the twin checkers, Connor Baldwin going to claim second. Christian Jasper comes home third. Nice run for James Watson to fourth. Vic Aldrich got to hold on to finish inside the top 5. There is your race winner, Christopher Hill. Fantastic drive there by the 101. No surprise, this guy is an absolute ace when we see him here on the road courses. Precision Racing Instruction, T. Watson Racing setups on the side of the 101. And as Chris Hill comes around to Well, he's going to take turn 1 of the oval, which is a very nice touch, like that. He'll burn him down here at the front straightaway after they do the victory lane photo. Let's take a look and show you tonight's race results. Chris Hill getting the win by 38.7 seconds over Connor Baldwin. That is a shellacking. Christian Jasper coming home third, James Watson fourth. Mick Aldrich rounding out the top 5, Luis Velasquez, Ty Richter, Matt Wagner, Alec Coates, and Gary Corley, the top 10. 11 to 15, Jeff Destino, Drew White, Cullen Johnston, TJ McMurray, and Jason Hand. Completing your 15-car field here this evening. There you go. Everybody getting cleared out of here. It's time for us to get ready for the victory lane interviews. And let's see. We'll start them out here tonight with your race winner, piloting car number 101, Christopher Hill. I don't even know what to ask you here, man. You absolutely beat the crap out of these guys tonight.
It went well for sure. That was an interesting one. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna make it. I was my race started leaving work, unfortunately, and then I barely made it into the seat, and I was like, oh, I got time for a qualifying lap, and it just all kind of worked out. So I was super happy with the win. I was bummed to hear Josh didn't get to take part. I guess he stubbed his toe or something, a little worse than that. So that was a little bit of a bummer because I think he would have given me a little more of a run for it. But it was, man, that was fun. That was a good race. Happy to pull off another victory for sure.
Yeah, we're looking forward to some of the stuff that's coming up here, and I would imagine you are as well when we start to kind of look ahead to some of the schedule things. Obviously, the real-world duties may keep you out of the cockpit for some of these, but coming back here next week to the Oval, there is something special about driving an Indy car on the Oval at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
For sure. Well, yeah, I was fortunate enough to be in Indy work a couple times over the last 2 years, and there's something just special about this place. I mean, even though it's not real and I'm not really there, it's cool to be able to say you won at Indy for sure. And I mean, when I was there, just driving laps around the track, and it puts goosebumps on your arms, as you drive around, because it's just such an amazing place. So it would be really cool to be able to back up today with another win next week. But heck, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, when you make that left turn or right turn off of, what is it, I guess 16th Street or Georgetown, whichever it is, in through turn the tunnel 10, the entrance gate 10, you pull up, the museum is right smack in front of you. It's making the hair stand up on my arms when you think about all the history of this place. Very cool to win there. It's a good points night for you, obviously, with Josh, like you mentioned, not being able to run. Do you give any thought to that of trying to make a couple of more races down the line, or is this kind of a hang out and have some fun when you can?
Well, I mean, I'm going to try to make as much of the season as possible, and how much that ends up being, and if it's enough to make the run all the way to the top or not, we'll find out. I mean, the ovals have not been my strength, as you've probably seen. We do have a few more road courses, which I'm hoping are enough to give me a good slug at it. But we'll just have to see how it kind of goes as the rest of the season progresses, and if Josh can make it back to, I mean, he's got a pretty sizable lead at this point, so it's if he can get back in the running, which I hope he can, because I don't. We don't want to win anything by just having someone not show. You want to win slugging it out, and I hope he can, just to keep it going, because he's got the oval side of things pretty well dialed in, and pretty decent on the road courses these days too. So we'll see how that
That's
goes.
going to be the fun one to watch. I hope we're able to get Josh back in the car here at the latest for next week. But you're going to be within 21 points with a 50 that you picked up here for tonight. And actually, you're going to be even within that because you have the qualifying point in the fastest lap and some of that stuff. So congratulations on the win, Chris. It was fantastic to watch you put on a show out there. Before we let you go, make sure you get all the sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Yeah, well, I've always got to thank the guys at TWR. James and them all brought me on board earlier this year, and it's been really fun learning with the group about this car and progressing and getting better and all of that, and the support that they give and all of that. It's nice to be a part of that team and all of that. Always mentioning Precision Racing Instruction. That's my driving instruction business. So I coach people mainly in the real world, but hey, if you want to get tuned up in the sim, we can do that too. And so you can always reach out through Instagram, Facebook, or any other way you know how to get in touch with me. And yeah, thanks for putting on the broadcast. And it's fun to be able to share that with the friends and family and all that. So I look forward to doing that. And yeah, on to next week. Hopefully we'll have a good result next week too. So
absolutely, we made mention of the joke of the turn one there with a couple of laps to go. So teacher taking care of student, that's for sure. But congratulations once again, Chris. We appreciate it. And now let's get our runner-up here into the booth with us. This guy is, I guess we'll say, best in class, maybe. Connor Baldwin, very, very good. Ultimately getting a little bit of a scare there from Christian right at the end, but talk us through the night. It was very quiet until a couple of laps to go.
Yeah, I knew going into the race after seeing the qualifying results that I was just going to have to keep it safe and just ride behind Christopher because I know I had nothing for him. I wasn't able to practice as much as I would have liked, so I knew I just had to keep the car on the track and just finish the race, which thankfully I did. So I guess I probably was a little too comfortable, and that's what allowed Christian to catch back up.
Yeah, a little bit of a pucker factor Zulu moment there in turn one of the last lap. Did you see Christian fully lock up the brakes, or did you just watch the relative disappear?
I didn't see him, or I didn't see the relative. I knew he was probably going to send one down the inside because we both were talking in our team Discord, and we were like, "Heck yeah, let's race out and just make sure we don't hit each other." So I left him plenty of room going into turn one, knowing he was going to try and make a move, and we both raced smart and cleanly. So it was pretty fun racing with Christian there.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, bud, it was a fantastic show you put on here tonight. Thank you very much for letting us watch it. And before we let you go, make sure you get all the sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Oh yeah, gotta thank Jeff Testino and Destino Motorsports getting our first double podium of the year. Gotta thank Aero Info for sponsoring the car and helping pay the iRacing fees. Gotta thank Texas A&M and Texas Aggie Storm Chasers.
All right, bud. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you checking in with us here. And one more guy to talk to here tonight. You certainly made things interesting. You were the show tonight, brother. Christian Jasper, fantastic drive, ultimately coming home with a third-place finish here this evening. Man, the dive bomb on Connor with one lap to go was epic. I kind of wondered if the Destino Motorsports guys would really get after each other, and you guys did.
Oh yeah. We actually once I got past James, I knew Connor was on a different strategy, but I also knew that my tires were going to be old by the time that I got to him. So I was like, all right, Connor, if I catch you, I need to know the plan. What are we doing? I didn't know if we were going to hold position or if we were going to fight it. So we actually talked about it a little bit, and then we got the okay to go at it as long as we kept it clean. So that was all that I was worried about. I was honestly happy. I would have been happy too if he had just said to hold position, because especially after the first lap going off, I was way back in the back. So to be able to fight back both on track and on strategy to come back up to the podium where I started, I'll take it. We're happy tonight.
I'll tell you what, it was really a great drive because it wasn't just the aggression on the racetrack, but the pit strategy calls were spot on. It seemed like you really kind of had the pieces put together maybe not to challenge Chris ultimately, but without that off track, it's probably second place by a pretty wide margin.
You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it because it was like all around. Really, it was a good race. It was a good race from our garage at least. I'm happy with it. When Chris Hill came in, I knew it was like, okay, he's gonna run away with it. He's usually at the front in FIS and damn near everywhere else he goes. He's usually running at the front with a lot of other guys. So I wasn't too pressed about him. If he messes up, something is wrong. his Hill's consistency is nuts.
Yeah, it's almost one of those guys that is. He makes gosh, I don't even know how to say it. It's exciting to watch that constant, just so damn good. Like
he
that,
makes it look easy.
That is a fun watch sometimes. It can be boring as hell if you're sitting watching at home. But the constant inch perfect hitting every mark, oh God, that is a thing of beauty. But all right, man. Well, hey, I'll tell you what.
Good to your eye.
I appreciate you hanging out with us here and checking in. And before we let you go, make sure you get all the sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Absolutely. I want to give a huge thanks to Destino Motorsports for bringing me on this season. Huge thank you to everyone else on my car that I'm running tonight. I got the SCP Foundation podcast. If you like some sci-fi horror stuff and some short stories, go check them out. I do some voice work for that. Huge thank you to Rosh's Way Bakery for letting me run their colors as well. And just thank you to you guys for doing the broadcast, always putting on a great show. I hope we were able to put on a good show tonight for you guys too.
Yeah, you certainly made it interesting. That's it was definitely fun to watch. We appreciate you hanging out with us, man. And oh, good Lord. I tell you what, sometimes you get a race like that that's it's not a snoozer, but it's not the best race you'll ever see either. Man, this one was a fun watch tonight, and we've got another one coming up here on the National Racing Network at 10:15, about 15 minutes from now. It will be the Indy Pro 2000 Championship coming up from Road Atlanta. That is going to be an absolute war. Such a high-speed road course for these guys. I am really looking forward to that show in a big way. But with that, time for us to get the heck on out of here, at least, like we said, for the next 15 minutes or so. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we appreciate your comments and hanging out with us. And for Michelle, my name is Chris Graham. Everybody here at the National Racing Network that makes these broadcasts happen, we thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We will talk to y'all in just a little bit. Have a good night, everybody.